But yeah, even after the events of Final Fantasy VII and during Advent Children, Cloud was he was still pushing people away.
Yeah, but the only good thing he's done in that whole thing, other than the fight scenes, which are really good and well done, was the fact that he adopted a young boy, took him in, even because the boy had nowhere else to go. And then the boy got sick, so, more plot for you. But,
Hang on, baby. Your hero's on the way.
Shut up.
Oh my god. Oh, I want you to look up a picture of Blaze Blue Amane. Amane.
My internet's pretty slow.
I don't care. Look, I'll do it for you. But yeah, so Lightning though, when she realizes she's doing something wrong, she realizes it. It gets to the point where her development, like people don't like it because they sit. Like one comparison I heard about Lightning to Cloud was that Lightning is coma Cloud, where she's just like basically dead. And I'm like, you haven't played the game then. If you're thinking that, because the way I see it, people have been spoiled by games that just throw out these instant changes in development, in character development, where like at 1 minute they're depressed, but the next one thing happens and they're happy. I think they spoil people, because when you play a game like this, it just doesn't throw it as gradual and as it should be, because it makes sense.
Because it's a human, natural way of doing things.
Yeah, it's progressive. Like Hope. His mother died, so now he's trying to get to the person who, in a sense, got her killed in his mind. To the point where he latches on to Lightning, who he feels is who is in his mind the vision of what he wants to be. So he latches onto her as she is in her previous state where she's messed up. So she's accidentally corrupting him. To the point where am I going the right way? Save point, I'm going the right way. Yeah, so it's basically gets to the point where she says maybe we should cut off his food supply, and he's like, wait, we're going to cut off his food supply for an entire town of people? And she's like, yeah, we shouldn't do that. Hungry people makes her angry people. And she's like, wait, what am I thinking? They're like, oh my god, things have been happening. And it gets to the point where it's gradual, but to the point where she finally smiles for once, makes it all worth it to me. Because Snow, the guy who punches things, is in a relationship with her sister that she doesn't approve of. But he was the only one who was there for her sister when she became a l'Cie, which is basically a taboo. And so, yada yada yada, she finally accepts Snow, and she's like, hey, Sarah still needs her hero, she says as she's smiling. And that just made so much of the thing she's been through worth it for me, just for that one smile. And then she smiles in the better well done CG cutscene, and it's just amazing.
And here comes our hero.
Yeah, air quotes around hero.
Asters as well.
Notice he has grenades. He doesn't use a single one. Notice there were 6 of them. There's only 3.
Invisible hand grenades.
Invisible hand. And he keeps them all in his coat, obviously, but But I would just give up if I was fighting Snow, because he runs. In the first few parts of this, I was getting shot. I was getting blown up with grenades. I was running through all that just to punch someone in the face. If I saw someone go through all that just to punch me, I would give up. Right? I'd be like, fine, you win. I'm done. Please don't hit me. Not the face. Right?
Yeah.
This entire thing is turning into us ripping Final Fantasy VII apart, right?
Yeah, it is.
Because Final Fantasy VII, hardcore following.
Yeah, and there's also a lot of people who pretend they know Final Fantasy just because they watch the cutscenes but never actually played the game. There's a lot of those posers as well.
Yeah. But also, and it's straight on Fight Lightning would kill Cloud. Cloud loses to Link. So, yeah. Death battle! Have you seen that death battle?
Yes, I have.
Cloud got murdered by Link.
I'm still waiting. I did watch the Godzilla vs. Gamera, but I'm still waiting for a more better upload. Because it was a reveal at the whatever convention they were, and I don't know. There was just something off about it. I don't know if it was the quality or I just wasn't really feeling it at the moment. But, spoilers, Godzilla won, because it's Godzilla.
I never saw that death battle.
I believe they took it off.
That's just spoiling it, you jerk!
He just punched me.
You know, yeah, maybe I should do it harder just so they can hear it on the audio.
No, that's fine.
Yeah, okay. Dude,
I think I have internal bleeding.
dude, grow a pair.
I have internal bleeding.
Are your Wolverine genes not working?
No.
Oh, no, that's me.
Oh.
Look at this whiny little punk. This whiny little silver-haired punk. Did my voice just crack?
Yes, because you're a little bitch.
Yeah, that's right. Better flinch. Mr. Grinch.
But yes, I don't really like Hope either. I mean, yeah,
He gets hot in the next game. Continue.
Yeah, I kind of got sidetracked.
How'd you get sidetracked?
I was gonna say something, but no. But anyways, comparing this one to Lightning Returns, is it better? Is it good?
Like, gameplay or story-wise?
Both.
Gameplay, much different. Because they still keep the ATB, but they change it enough because it's Lightning by herself now. But to remedy that, she has 3 different styles she can go through, which are changes by her dress. By like what she's wearing, which are called schemas. And different outfits have different effects and different abilities that are set to them.
So it's basically combat dress-up.
Pretty much, yeah.
I remember they did that in another game. I think it was Final Fantasy
X2.
X. Yeah.
It was horrible. Except in Lightning Returns they made it work. But in Lightning, so it was good to me gameplay-wise because you really needed to think because it had so much different stuff that only certain enemies would be affected by certain things, and other times it would do nothing to them. You really needed to think about how you would do things, and like also in this game and the next game it's really easy to stagger people because all you need to do is be a Ravager and just rise up the chains. But in the next game, enemies have stagger conditions, like blocking at the right moment, hitting a certain part of them. It's just devastating. Like, oh, it was so hard for me at sometimes, but it was worth it. It was a good game to me. Now, story-wise, Lightning, she kind of lost all the development, like emotion-wise, because in Return, she basically is like straight emotionless. But it's explained as to why. Because like a part of her was taken away, so she ends up being the emotionless person she is in the game. But yeah, it still makes sense in the game, and she's like. And you get to meet all the other people as they've been and what they've been doing throughout all these years. It was actually kind of like Saz, he was depressed as crap and needed to like save his son's life. Hope, he's basically your Cortana. Really annoying. Well, no, he wasn't Cortana, he was Navi.
Hey, listen.
It was pretty much that whenever it was like at 5 o'clock. Because at 5 o'clock he would keep reminding you that you need to go to the Ark like every 5 minutes. And it would just get so annoying, like, I know, Hope, stop. Hope, please, stop. No, Hope. It was just so annoying after like some time. But yeah, so story-wise, like you meet there are a lot of characters, like side characters in it. Because, like side characters and side stories because of the fact of you need to complete their quests to level up in a sense. Like there's no traditional level up, just more of this completing quests and you get like stat bonuses that way. Which was an interesting feature because it made you really need to do the quest to progress easier in the story. And it also had some bonus features I enjoyed, such as if you wait a certain amount of time to fight a boss, they would be much stronger and have much different effects. And it was just really, and like even a different look to them, and it was wonderful to me.
Seems interesting.
Yeah, it is. I'd say my biggest issue with it would be the fact that you don't really get any party members, which is kind of what Final Fantasy is built around. And in the next 2 games, they take out summons completely, which upsets me. Because Final Fantasy is all about cool summons. Like, well, not all about, but it's like a good portion of Final Fantasy, right? Like Final Fantasy X, good game, has a lot of flaws on it. But I always had Yuna just so I could use her summons. Which is something I hate about this game, I said it before, I'll say it again, is the fact that a summon is bound to a character which is the leader of the party. So, Lightning has Odin, Sass has Brunhilde, Fang has Bahamut, Vanille has Hecatonir, Snow has Shiva, and Hope has Alexander. Now, if you hate using Hope, you're never going to use Alexander. It's as simple as that, which sucks. Right?
And I'm gonna go on a limp and say you hate playing as Hope.
Yes, I hate playing as Hope. My main team was always the girls. For obvious reasons. They're hot. I'm not ashamed. But yeah, it's just disappointing to me. Like, I gotta fight these things. Ugh. But like gameplay wise, Snow is the first person to get his summon. But Lightning is the first person who gets to use hers in battle. It's explained why, because after it, Snow gets knocked out, like a little punk. But the summons are triggered by something, because after they become the Sea, the summons are triggered at a point into which they're in despair. And once they reach a certain point of despair where they're like having issues moving on, that's when the summon will be brought to them, and it'll give them a choice. Either you fight me and make me submit, or I kill you.
Sounds a lot like Persona.
I am a shadow, the true self. Except they don't talk.
Let's talk about that.
What?
RPGs that are overshadowed simply because it's not Final Fantasy.
Yeah, well, that does happen a lot, but even Final Fantasy is overshadowed because of Final Fantasy VII.
Yes. I would
Because, like, honestly, every time I see a Final Fantasy game now, it's always being compared to that game, and it's pissing me off. Because, for one, every Final Fantasy game is different. There's, like, only thing the same, the fighting system. And that even changed in this one. There's no reason to be comparing 13 to 7 in my mind. Like, they're two different games, two completely different sets of characters. Like, nothing about them even is remotely the same. Two different universes and worlds, also. So, like, no reason why they should even be compared in the first place. Right?
Yeah, so it's also, there's no, not consistency, what's that word I'm looking for?
I don't know, you tell me.
Each Final Fantasy is unique to their own. There's no references
Yeah.
or cameos.
The only cameo is Gilgamesh, who starts off in Final Fantasy 5, I think. But that's explained because he has the power to jump between universes and dimensions. Which explains how each Final Fantasy takes place in their own dimension, because he's in so many different dimensions, he's in different Final Fantasies. Like, he's in this one too. He's in this one as a store, and he's in the next one as a boss. Oh, look. Rape time.
Wait, what?
Huh? Fair incest? I need to set up fan fiction.
Yes, you do.
I'm not.
But anyways, as I was saying, Final Fantasy VII got unreal praise because
Which in my mind it didn't deserve.
at the time, Final Fantasy was one of a kind for its time.
Mm-hmm.
And it was the only real successful RPG.
Oh, Shadow's gonna grow a pair? Is he gonna do it? Killing her as a mercy? Too bad the sister can't fight until the next game. Like, they don't explain how she suddenly is given a weapon and she knows how to use it perfectly.
Yeah, that's kind of like an anime thing.
Anime! Like Ichigo Kurosaki. He's given a sword, he becomes a spirit, just murders everything in his path. No training, no whatsoever.
Oh no, he does train.
Eventually.
Properly trains.
Eventually.
Yes. But anyways, as I was saying, at the time Final Fantasy VII got unreal praise because it was the only functional, competent RPG of its time, at least in the Western's eyes. Don't get me wrong, Final Fantasy VII is still popular in the Far East, but not as much as it is compared to here. And Final Fantasy is instantly paired up with the word role-playing games. And it's kind of like Call of Duty with first-person shooters. If it's not Call of Duty or if it's not Battlefield, it's not a good first-person shooter game, and that's the problem.
Mm-hmm.
Don't get me wrong, Final Fantasy is a good RPG game, but it's not the best. There are games like Persona 4 and Persona 3. There's games like Fire Emblem.
Which Fire Emblem is more of was like in my mind a pure strategy RPG.
It was.
It's like pure strategy. It's like pure RPG because you control relationships and you role play like between the characters. But it's pure strategy because you're on a grid and you control how they move, you control how they attack, you control their stats and everything. It's pure strategy to me.
And she's turning into an ice cube.
Crystal, actually.
Why?
Because she completed her focus, and when you complete your focus, you gain immortal life. Or their version of immortal life is being turned into a crystal for all eternity. Look at and they say lightning is emotionless. Was that an emotionless face to you?
No, that wasn't.
Exactly.
Everyone's getting the feels, except for me because I kind of jumped in the middle of this and I don't really understand what's going on.
Didn't you not watch my earlier videos?
I did, but that was like almost a year
Rewatch
ago.
them. And then rewatch this.
Shameless self-advertisement.
My videos can be found at Two Shifter. Wait, fuck, what was it? Hi there, I'm Avery, and if you would like to see what earlier videos I'm talking about, which includes but is not limited to Skullgirls Let's Plays, which shall be continued, Face Punch, that would just happen thanks to lightning, which is Skullgirl videos, which will be continued, a video of me getting murdered in Persona 4 Arena, and the beginning of this Let's Play series, please head over to Two Shifters on YouTube, where everything can be found. Thank you, and have a nice day.
You know, you probably could have just... What's the word? Not embedded. Forget it. You know, I do have my own YouTube channel.
No one cares about your YouTube channel, Edgar.
And it's really funny because I uploaded
I
nothing...
would say, Edgar, if you repeat this to me, I will hurt you.
It's just the intro videos to Ace Combat. But the thing is
Edgar, choose your next words carefully.
They got a lot of views for no particular reason. I mean, the videos are dime a dozens, but mine seem to reap some views.
So I just got a message. Should I respond to it?
Hey, come on. Be professional. We're working here.
What do you mean working? We're playing a freaking game. Don't put your panties in a bunch.
And how else am I supposed to understand this? It's like...
I've not only explained what's going on to you, but you've seen my other videos.
Which, might I add, was like almost a year ago.
Why didn't you keep watching them then?
Well, one and done. That's my philosophy.
Like sex?
Yes. Which is why I can't seem to get a stable relationship.
You're pathetic. You are pathetic.
But anyways, there's a lot of things going on. A lot of hands being held. Camera shaking a lot.
A lot of screaming.
Yes, a lot of afros. But the thing I don't... As I was saying before, how a lot of these games don't really take off because it doesn't have the name recognition of Final Fantasy. That's what bothers me.
Yeah, it's kind of upsetting. I feel like they create their own brand and then they keep building off of that while not making a completely new IP. One such case, the new DMC.
Oh, please. Please.
No, let me talk about that. Let me talk about what would have made it better if it wasn't Devil May Cry. If it was a different thing, using different names, it would have been perfectly fine. It wouldn't have gotten so much hate as it has been because people wouldn't have been saying, this isn't the Dante we all know and love. This is something new, so they could have not compared it to that. Right?
I mean, to be fair, a prequel shouldn't... You shouldn't be taking things from older games for the sake of consistency. We played the last 3-4 games. Let's see what the new one should bring. A lot of people, including myself, hate DMC because it's nothing like Devil May Cry.
I'm one of the few people who can distance myself enough from the original Devil May Cry to like just appreciate what the game has to offer.
But with me, I'll admit I really hate DMC, but now enough time has passed to look at it objectively instead of biasly. And
Like as a fighting game, it's okay. Like as an action game, it's okay, not a fighting game. As an action game, it's okay.
the story is still kind of weak,
It kind of is.
and the dialogue, it just seems, especially with Dante,
Fuck you! No, fuck you!
yeah, it's just immature. It's like a seventh grader wrote it.
I'll admit I still, well, you haven't played Bulletstorm then.
Bulletstorm. Oh yeah, that game. I really don't have any intention of playing Bulletstorm.
I'll make it with Bulletstorm, Edgar. You have no choice.
I mean, it's the same thing with Borderlands. I don't really like Borderlands. It's like a bunch of overhyped
Go,
stuff.
Vault Hunters, go. Lucia, let's go. Pick the Berserker with the rocket launcher. Lilithface walking, nobody can stop. Mordecai, blood, wit, let it rip, let it fly.
What are you singing?
A song? Based on Borderlands. Oh, come on, plot. Let me get the powers and stuff.
So where are we now?
We're in the heart of the God Machine, basically. Where this is the thing that turned her into a Lassie. So now what they're going to try to do is, it pisses us off, let's try to kill it.
Huh. Makes sense.
Yeah,
And I'm being sarcastic. This makes no sense.
it makes sense. You just have to make that attention. Because, you know, his fiance's on the line and stuff. And her sister's on the line and stuff. She's a slash first, ask questions while slashing kind of person.
Lightning!
Yeah, and it seems like they're just hitting some sort of power core that doesn't seem to be reacting to anything.
Just wait, this is actually a boss.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Is it going to attack you with power chords?
That would be hentai. Like, the guys that get knocked outside, the girls, we don't want to talk about what happened to the girls.
Uh-oh. What's going on?
Deus Ex Machina.
So what's advancing the plot now?
This boss fight. This is
there
anima.
are power chords.
Yeah, but what Falsi are basically machines being powered by crystals that are each given a task.
And what are their tasks?
Each is different depending on the Falsi.
Uh-oh, looks like you can't run, you little bitch.
Yeah, he is one.
He's still running.
You know what? I would enjoy a Final Fantasy action game by Platinum Games.
You mean like Dissidia or something like that?
No. Cydia, enjoyable. I'd say like a 6 out of 7.
Then
But I
maybe-
mean like like if you played like I've shown you Bayonetta, right?
Yes.
Like that, Platinum Games.
Oh, Platinum Games.
I'm in. As long as you don't mind an average.
I'd also enjoy a real Final Fantasy fighting game though.
Got these things. Might as well.
Like Persona 4 Arena.
Yeah.
And I like Persona.
I would main Lightning all day.